I lost my V card to a 37-year-old woman. And now a 14-year-old girl has reached out to me claiming I'm her father. It's been a weird couple of days for me. I need to get this off my chest. This all started on Friday when I got a Facebook message from an old colleague telling me my daughter was trying to get in contact with me. I hadn't heard from this person in years, so I was skeptical at first, but I decided to hear them out. The girl in question has recently lost her mother to cancer, and the man who she thought was her father turned around and told her she wasn't his and kicked her out. She moved in with her uncle, thankfully, but ever since she's been looking for her real dad. Anyways, around 15 years ago, I was a naive young man, barely in my 20s, working in a supermarket. When I started, I was buddied up with a 37-year-old woman who was drop dead gorgeous. Like I said, I was rather naive, so obviously I instantly became infatuated with her easygoing and tactile demeanor. Sadly, only a month after I started that job, she handed in her notice, and that spurred me to go for it and ask her out on a date. She laughed and agreed. And so it started the wildest 3 months of my life. I won't go into details, but we were intimate on a handful of occasions, and I even stupidly confessed my love to her, but it was then she told me she was moving away to be with her fiance, which left me absolutely heartbroken. Later, a colleague would tell me that she was also seeing a guy who worked on the checkouts at the same time she was seeing me. For now, back to the present day, I had all but forgot about it. I have 2 kids and a very pregnant wife to think about after all, so this has somewhat knocked me sideways. I feel for the kid having her whole world torn apart so abruptly. But the thing is, I don't think I'm her father. Though I was young and foolish, I always use protection. But there is a part of me that hopes I am, as I can provide the loving family that she is so desperately looking for. I haven't told my wife yet because she is 8 months pregnant with our 3rd child and has enough to worry about, but I've arranged a paternity test. Another thought that crossed my mind that she is contacting me first because I am the better prospect. As I went on to bigger and better things while the other guy still works on the checkouts at the same store 15 years later. And from what I've been told, has a bit of a problem with alcohol. And so I'm also angry at the man who raised her, playing dad all those years, only to callously abandon her when she needed him the most. I'm also angry and sad that I might have missed out on so much of my potential daughter's childhood. The wife knows something's up, so I think I'm going to bite the bullet and tell her I just had to get this off my chest. Update. Wow, I didn't expect this to blow up so much. I have an update on the situation, so I sat my wife down and told her everything this morning, like most of you have been suggesting. After giving me a severe tongue lashing for not telling her sooner, my wife said probably the most sensible thing I've heard, which is I should try and contact the girl's uncle to verify her story. And boy, am I glad I did. You see, I had made one fatal assumption, which was that the stepfather was the same person as the fiance. Turns out checkout guy found out about the baby and claimed she was his. The fiance broke things off after finding out about her infidelity and decided to move abroad. Checkout guy got a paternity test when the girl was born, and he wasn't the father, but he only did it to try and get back together with her, which obviously failed miserably. The stepfather didn't come along until a year or 2 later after the girl was born. He's been having a hard time dealing with the death of his wife, and after a particularly bad argument, decided the best thing was for the girl to go and stay with her uncle, who is an absolutely lovely guy and actually remembered me, even though I had only met him briefly in the past. Anyway, she's happy and safe at her uncle's. It's close to her school, and she gets on well with her cousins. The crazy thing is that they weren't actually looking for me. I just happened to have the same first name as the fiance. The young lady jumped the gun in getting in contact with me, but they are 99 sure that the fiance is her father. This is when my wife made another sensible suggestion. Go, love that woman so much, and asked for the girl's birthday so we can match up the dates. And they don't quite match up, but I'm still going through with the paternity test just in case. The thing is, now I have to put up with the odd rendition of Billy Jean from My Beloved, which is probably going to last a few weeks before it gets old. I should explain why I didn't immediately tell my wife about this. You see, I was just panicking about the whole situation, and though she is a caring and understanding woman, she can be rather ferocious. Needless to say, I try not to find myself on the sharp end of her tongue. Also, she is 8 months pregnant, and it has been a difficult pregnancy for her. And I didn't want to add any extra stress, but as many of you have pointed out, it would have only been worse if I had not said anything.